Not surprised though, because I
what
think
if he plays it again? How do we feel?
Bad, very bad.
It's still a good champ though.
It is.
What if he says, "Okay, I messed up. Give me a second chance, coach. Let me play the Corki."
What's that or ban it? I don't think there's a lot of other options. My main thing though is that I think that game was quite close. We also still see a lot of happy faces as yeah, okay, there's very obviously very different approach being taken here by Hanwha because they're banning basically everything that T1 played into them just now. And for T1, I imagine you just do the same thing. Ban Peanut his champions. Also lost on Peanut's Poppy. Didn't actually talk about it a lot. And
yeah.
I think he had outside of the one early game mistake where he died into that Nocturne ultimate, he did actually have quite a clean game. Didn't end up going down at all, I think, unless he died just before the Nexus fell. But we'll see. This man, though, has got to step it up. Zeka, even in his 2022 season, had glimpses of what we would later come to see at Worlds. I don't really think we've seen a whole lot of that just yet.
I think...
Definitely not in this series.
So they're not going to ban Orianna, Varus, or Lucian. Well, actually, they just ban Lucian. Okay. No Orianna, no Varus. Rakan is going to be taken away from Delight this time around. That's a pretty smart idea in general. Also means that no Xayah Rakan, probably. Well, at least definitely not Xayah Rakan, but maybe no Xayah. So this bottom lane is going to look very different. And a lot of big picks left available, especially that Orianna comes to mind. The Vi is there as well. And here we go. It's just Corki again. So this is what I was asking. How are we going to feel about this when he just slams it again?
I still think the pick is obviously quite strong. And if he cleans up the play, then that could be enough. But it is a risk that they're taking. Now, Varus Ashe is available. This doesn't give away a whole lot. Could even be Keria playing the Rel. I don't think there's anything wrong playing the Varus with Rel. Most likely, though, it's either going to be the Ashe again, like we saw last time around, depending on the support matchup. And maybe that's what Hanwha Live is trying to do here, trying to make sure that T1 don't get to both counterpick in top, counterpick support, and outside of early mid, they basically have 3 winning lanes, which makes it very hard to play. We'll see what ends up being it, but my expectation is this is going to go towards Oner. Had obviously some insane plays, and I also want to see what is Viper going to end up on.
Blind Akali would have been very interesting when they're already showing Rel. K'Sante, just trying to give, I suppose, a better chance at that top lane. It means that you don't get the 2 side laners in K'Sante and you're banned in the second phase, like what happened in Game 2, or 1 rather, and then you just don't have an answer to the Oner. Now, Orianna, not banned this time. It's left available. And Orianna for Faker is going to be great.
I love that Senna ban. I was actually wondering whether they would be willing to go towards the Senna Seraphine. Viper was originally one of the guys that played everything that he could get his hands on in bot lane back in, what, 2018? The Awesome Dudes meta. Was very happy to. With the Senna, a lot of those are going to get taken away. And for T1, would expect them to go towards probably a Gwen. That's generally what they've gravitated towards in this K'Sante. Would also be very Zeus to just pick Aatrox. Because they're like, yeah, let's play Aatrox into this.
That seems quite
Rumble,
good, to be honest.
Another option. Rumble Rel is obviously a combination that isn't very fun to play into. We'll see what T1 wants to go for here, because they already have quite a strong core. Can either opt for more frontline. It's also an option. Or really go all in. We also don't really know yet what this Varus is going to be. Most likely, it'll be Lethality Varus, but we'll see. Even with the K'Sante, I do think playing into Vi, it is really hard to reliably get autos off. But if they end up going for like Keria's Kench, for example, that does really change the equation.
There's that Aatrox you were talking about. Seems like we're all on the same page here. Didn't want to give him a chance to play that one. And still curious about what he is going to play on the top side. Might just be the Gwen again. Decent amount of magic damage in the comp, but you definitely want something to deal with the Mordekaiser.
Oh, he's going to have fun.
Yone again? Okay. Just Yone again. Why not, he says.
Why not? That's not his slogan, Valdez.
True, actually. It's the team they're playing against. So, Yone now 5-0. Feeling pretty good about the Yone nowadays. Actually, it did get picked up. It's 6-0 now, actually, because it was played in the first series as well. So here we go. Felios and Milio.
Really good round. I can't believe we didn't talk about a Felios Milio, actually. That's quite funny.
It just feels like it could happen at any time.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, yeah, okay, you know.
And yeah, I was about to say, so this is one of the things we haven't really seen being picked in the Milio that much, are things like Blitzcrank, things like Pyke, that have a way of getting on top and taking him down. Now, Varus Pyke is as volatile as a matchup as there is, because it involves Pyke. It's pretty self-explanatory. Pyke really stands or falls by how much you get to do early on. T1 do have more frontline than they did last time around, though. This time Oner actually, especially with the threat of that ball from Faker, really strong combo there. A lot of team fighting power for T1. On the flip side, though, Hanwha Life's comp, if you get to mid-game again, not only do you have what we saw last game, which is Viper on a hyper carry, but this time he has Milio added as well.
A lot more range.
Which gives him both a lot more range, also makes him way harder to reliably CC down and kill. And I also think there's less backline dive than there was. There is still the Yone, sure, but outside of that, there isn't really something like the Nico that we saw, the Nocturne.
No Nocturne, no Nocturne?
Well, that's, I mean, that's
Nico Nocturne?
That's the combo right there.
No Nocturne, yeah. Hanwha Life Esports going to be shelling from afar. They have at least one engage button. Couple, you know, you got the package as well. You've got a beefier front line. And on the side of T1, lots of Wombo.
See if that's enough. Here in the second game. I wanted to go to Free Valdez.
And it might just. We'll have to wait and see if Hanwha Life Esports can challenge them here in game number 2.
소환사의 협곡에 오신 것을 환영합니다.
Here we go. Game number 2. T1 looking for a quick 2-0 to move up in the standings. Hanwha Life Esports, they got to come back in this game if they want to try to force a game 3.
I would love a game 3. I think that even though game number 1 had some individual underperformances, there were a lot of really high-stakes moments. Hanwha Life actually did a really good job, I think, of keeping the game close up until the very end. Let's not forget, if Viper is able to just have like an extra second there, doesn't get focused down immediately, the DPS could have been immediately game-breaking. And if they win that fight, maybe they can push, at the very least get an inhib or two. Then all of a sudden we're looking at a very different game. Obviously, main thing going to be is Zeka, not because of the Corki, because we've said our fair part about the champion, but the individual play of the player not really enough if you want to be able to match power of T1. And it's also the first really big test for Hanwha, so I think for them, at the very least, bringing this to a game 3 is big.
What is happening here?
Yone.
What is happening
here?
To
deal with him.
And he goes very deep, and it just doesn't seem to matter. Oner already did a camp.
Yeah, he's going to invade now. So Peanut actually starting with W, which obviously is the best for the early clear. Oh, he got that. Thank God.
He did get it, but he's also going to take a big chunk here, and he loses the 2 mini wolves. So Peanut is just really sad right now. Yeah, 1 out of 10 on the happiness scale.
We've seen this with Jaxus as well, where you can just walk into the enemy jungle with lethal tempo level 1, and they just, you win the 1v2. It's kind of ridiculous. And that already puts Peanut on the back foot. Now Peanut, in my opinion, perhaps the most tilt-proof jungler in the entirety of the LCK. The game he played against Canyon, or rather games, definitely going to always be at the forefront of my mind in that regard. It's not great as Vi, who wants to rush to 6, to already be this far behind your opponent.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, just get back to farming. You're gonna lose your buff. It's not gonna feel good, but just kind of move on. Try to hit 6 as fast as you possibly can, and then just look for the plays later on in the game. Keria not hitting a hook just yet, as this bottom lane is going pretty even for now. The Pyke, you know, you mentioned how this is definitely going to be pretty volatile, as he's going to be looking for some plays, or at least threatening them. You can do this with Pyke as well, as the hook is going to go wide, but you can always have that threat as long as your cooldowns are available. where you just kind of run at them and they have to respect it. And kind of like a Blitzcrank feel. And Keria is doing a good job of doing just that.
And in my opinion, one of the biggest benefits of the Phalios Emilio, and we've seen this with some other hyper combination combos in the past, is just that you're a hyper carry, but you also, in many cases, not in this case, but in many cases, just win the level 1 really, really hard because of Calibrum, because of the Milio range, and because of how good these AD carries are at spacing. And we can see here as well, Guma!
We're just brawling. Guma taking it to Viper and losing, and Viper just stands up to them. This hook, flash forward, it's not going to work out. As Keria trying to turn the tides here. Flash, oh, the dodge was excellent by Zeus as he goes unbound. And he just hopped back, but he did have to flash to get away from that play.
Still big win there. Peanut not disturbed. No real worries for him. Smokes top, forces a flash. Does see Oner now, and he doesn't have mid lane prio, so I don't imagine he's going to be feeling too good. Faker has sent Zeka back twice already. Like, Zeka's backing again here.
I mean, this is what Orianna does, right? And especially in the Corki, like at least Azir can trade back a little bit, but Corki early on, you're not going to win those trades. It's just not really going to happen. As Keria, he's going to be quite annoying. He's going to get in there. Speaking of which, Oner's doing the same.
Leave Peanut alone! He just wants to farm, man.
Yeah, and part of the reason he's able to do this is the top lane, even after Zeus had to flash, he can just push the Cassante under turret, and the Cassante can't do anything to help out Peanut in that topside jungle. So Oner just gets to get in there. Faker, you know, what is a Corki going to come over and like kill Darrell? It's not going to happen at this level. And of course, Orianna can also push in. So Oner just gets to do whatever he wants. And what he wants to do right now is take down these Void Bubs.
And Rel actually one of the best at clearing these out for the reason we're about to witness in just a second. Ooh, I wonder if he's going to like keep all of them low, and then with one Q, missed the third one there, but you can basically kill all of them. Still had a smite, so
yeah.
Nicely set up. There's Keria.
Keria looking for it, hops forward, is going to miss the hook. Keria not hitting a single hook just yet, not that I've seen. The ult comes forward, and level 5 Doran gets out scot-free this time.
A little spooky there, and Doran does survive, but at the same time, this gold lead is only getting bigger. Zeus in this 1v1 completely untethered, unlike Yone, ironically. Keria now back after his short trip to the mid lane. And the laning phase again from T1. Nothing has happened, and they're up 1k gold.
Yeah.
Which, being ahead in lane does make sense with the setup that they have. Counter pick, obviously, in both mid, top and bottom. But the extent to which definitely is, there should be a little bit more fluctuating. I think the Viper and the Light are not going to be too bothered. Same for Doran, but we'll see. I think particularly after last game as Zeka, you're really looking to have as much of a bounce back as you possibly can. And I do think you're supposed to struggle against the Orianna early. Particularly Faker has been super oppressive on this pick early on. But it's mostly the mid game, I think, where we saw a lot of pressure.
Ult's coming in, all out. Is in some trouble as he is unbound, but now Doran not going to hit the knock-up. The timing is not there, and he doesn't get the kill just yet. Finally gets in, but he goes down. Zeus gets himself into a rough spot. At least is able to trade it back, but Doran picks up the first blood.
And Doran ends up going down anyway. Zeus not getting caught there.
Oh, hook finally came in. Forces that flash. Level 6 here for the side of the T1 bot lane. In goes Viper. He's doing a punch to Guma. He doesn't even have 6. He doesn't even have 6. Doesn't need it. He's got red-white. And that was enough to push them back. Only, I mean, Keria just ignited on the play. Actually, the summoner advantage is T1's after all of that. Plus, they got the dragon. So there you go.
And we do have both Cloud and Camtech already here. And yeah, the main thing, Doran actually is able to predict where Zeus is going to go initially, but then here tries to go for a predictive Q, just barely misses the timing, and then thinks he has the kill there. I think always is going to take that extra turret shot, so the moment that he follows Zeus, I think he is dead, even if he wouldn't have like done the little walk back.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure what the wave state was. I think that the first turret bot should still help him a decent amount, and after this, I think he'll be still behind, particularly with the blade advantage still being there for Zeus, but it being a small win for the Cassante. But we're in a very similar situation to last game, where for Humble Life it's about holding on. Last game they were able to find some great mid-game team fights. We'll see if this time around that is the same.
Yeah, that is a good question. As Peanut is hanging around the top side of the map here. You know, he has hit level 6. He wants to make a difference somewhere. He got the flash earlier on from Zeus, but that was about it. Maybe trying to find the timing. You see Zeus's flash is like 10 seconds away, so would have been really nice if Zeus was in the lane, but he wasn't. And so Peanut's just gonna back and look elsewhere. Keria, meanwhile, just dealing with stuff in the enemy jungle. Here's Oner, actually. So the jungler who's up here and maybe makes a difference might be the T1 jungler. Doran is alone. He is going to hop past them, but the stun comes through, and that should be enough even against Cassante. And now that's Zeus picking up 2 kills.
Unfortunately for Doran there, the moment that Zeus ults him, normally getting that ultimate off from Cassante immediately can be beneficial, but if he had that, as soon as Oner shows up, might have been able to somehow find an angle over a wall that kept him alive. Not going to be the case. Doesn't have that cooldown available. Really nice timing there from Oner. And Zeus now, again, getting fed on this Yone. It's just, is it the same game?
It kind of is. It's not exactly, because obviously the...
Oh, Peanut!
Trying to get in here is Peanut. He's not in range, and guess who is? Finally does get in range, but Keria comes in, picks up the kill, and Faker's going to survive. And now Peanut's in a whole host of trouble as well. Tries to flash in front of the Q, not going to quite time it correctly, and Peanut does get out with his life.
And Peanut getting out is nice, but Zeka ends up dying again. And we see a short moment of hesitation there, I think, as Peanut and Zeka go in. Peanut is like, can we do this? Because I think at that point they also realize that Pyke is on its way. But it's not going to matter, as we see another Loki at the moment that Doran counters the ult with his own. Knows that he is dead. Not going to be able to get out of that one alive, unfortunately. And the lead in top grows in here. I think they realize that Pyke is there literally like the moment. And then Zeka has to play defensively because he has to respect Faker's ult, but also with the Peanut
Dies to Pyke anyway.
Dies to Pyke anyway. Rel wasn't even necessary, and Peanut would have definitely died if Keria got that ult off.
Oh!
Yeah.
I almost landed the Q. And, well, it didn't happen.
Close.
Didn't quite happen. I mean, Peanut was a Vi who had flash and potentially Q to get away at that point, so we don't blame you this time, Keria. Meanwhile, Viper trying to protect a control ward. But yeah, the mid lane situation was pretty dire before that, and now, I mean, Peanut's still behind, Zeka's still behind, also died to Keria. And Faker has the most CS in the game. And we saw him stepping behind the enemy ranged minions, blocking missiles from CSing. And that's how you know the lane is done.
The lane is very doomed. Yeah,
that's like the key sign. It's like, okay, the jungler can't hurt me, the enemy mid laner can't hurt me, I'm just going to shield all of your damage so you can't even touch my minions.
I kind of love how Guma is yet again the either enemy sidekick or backup dancer, depending on who you ask, because he's like 25 CS up. He's just in this lane. Keria's going on all these fun trips without him.
Got some slows coming in from the Gravitum. Ooh, nice chains come out from Guma. And that is going to put a stop to it.
Doesn't even get to 1v1 to the death.
Not allowed.
Not allowed. No fun for Guma.
Gotta protect. And Oner's just here now. Says, okay, I'm going to get my bot lane out of this lane. Give them a nice time to back, I suppose. Although Guma and Keria are sticking around. Still a lot of stuff available. You know, you got Pyke ult, you have big Wombo from Oner with flash and ult available. Top lane also going in favor of T1 after a bunch of skirmishes there. Zeka with the package. Can he get something going? There is Keria nearby as well as Oner doing the Drake, so you got to be careful about this timing if you are Zeka as well.
It's also no follow-up, so I can't imagine he actually wants to use it offensively here. But if you don't use the package, it's also kind of a waste. Ideally, want to try and at least get some value out of it. Maybe towards a Rift Herald comes to mind, because this second Drake also going to T1, and T1, everything's going according to plan. But for me, the big difference between this game and last is that, again, I really like Hanwha's comp, but I do think T1 have a lot more power when it comes to mid to late, even if they don't snowball, which they are.
There's not as much pressure in the early and mid game.
No, there's no Ashe, you know, no Callista.
Well, I'm saying there's not as much pressure to like end the game early on for
that's
because they have that scaling. Yeah, and they have really good team fighting this time as well. As Oner is getting very far into the enemy jungle, does have Keria nearby.
He got it.
Yeah, he got it. Nice. Mid lane is still like Zeka even had to build a Hex Drinker, which we do see occasionally, but it just delays your 3-item spike even that much more. And it's going to be pretty rough. It's going to take a long time for Zeka to be pretty, in this game at all.
On the plus side, though, it's better than last game so far. I think. Actually, it wasn't. He was not nearly as far behind. But I'm trying to find an upside here. Do gotta say though, Hanwha Life looked similar to this in last game, and then when the team fighting started, that's where we really started to see, which is pretty funny given that a large part of this team was of course Gen G.
Faker's just gonna take the turret by himself.
Yeah, on the next wave it is gone. That's gonna be first turret bot going over to this Orianna. And I don't think there's a whole lot that they can do to stop him. Teleport comes in. But that's not enough, and Oner is there, and the turret is gone!
He almost missed his TP as well. Like, if Faker really stepped up and tried to put a couple more autos into that thing, it was possible. But I think maybe he wanted him to TP for the potential for Oner to get in there. But either way. Zeka gets away. He does stick around here. It's almost like he's watching Faker CS, and then he's like, oh, I guess I'll just pick up the scraps. I don't know.
I wish that
what else I could do.
I wish that could be me.
Yeah.
Maybe that's his thought process. I wish I could have money. That would be cool.
Yeah.
And they did opt into this, and I think part of that is that, one, the Cork is obviously an insanely strong pick, but on the flip side, it also is, what was Faker, 19-game win streak, so you can't give it over. Which just again beckons the question, why not just ban it?
Just ban it.
And maybe we'll see an answer in this game if Zeka is able to eventually take over.
Well, especially if you're leaving Orianna up. It feels like, Corki can have some better lanes, but not against Orianna.
No, against Orianna, it's...
The blind Corki with Orianna available after you just had that Game 1 performance. That was
questionable.
Yeah. There's just a lot of different factors coming together.
It's 4K gold.
For this question.
And that Hail Mary team fight, the team fighting prowess I was talking about, it's got to come soon. Kraken Slayer's done for Viper. Maybe Delight with this Milio can get something going.
Faker is pretty much invulnerable at this point. He has the arm guard. And I love that defensive item choice into the enemy comp. Especially, that Viper's going to be doing a lot of damage, but also, more importantly, it's like, if I can get stasis very early on, I can just be even more of a threat. He already has his 1-item spike with the Ludens, and he knows he's very fed, so he just uses that extra gold to become more unkillable, essentially. A more defensive item choice, but I think it's a cool one in this scenario. Especially because he knows that, okay, well, Soul Point fights are coming up. We've got Rift Herald fight is about to happen. So some big team fights are going to happen. And if they do isolate in 100-0 Faker, that is a big problem for T1. So he just says, I'll just pick up some stasis.
And another objective going to get started up here.
Uh-oh. Peanut's in the enemy jungle for some reason, and he might just be dead. There is a Cassante nearby, but it doesn't matter, as Keria is going to take him out, but he does go down at least, and it ends up mattering, I suppose, for Doran, who will pick up the kill.
Gold positive trade is, this won't be. Maybe?
Yeah, what's going on here? Just looking for a free Viper, I suppose, and it doesn't matter how many Melio ultimates and abilities you use, he's still going to die.
Yeah, so as I was saying, unfortunately that one not a gold positive shift, because the bot one, it's 1-for-1, but you get a bounty. So that's nice. But then Viper dies in mid, and it feels a little bit less nice. We just have Oner moving from lane to lane, and then whoever is in that lane that is already winning just gets a turret. Now, first we had Faker, right? Now Guma gets to do the same.
Yeah.
we gotta see some form of resurgence from Hanwha, because it's getting to like 5-6K. Peanut just queues in, not ready, and I think that the call here was probably that they are investing towards top side of the map and end up doing Herald, but they're not. Keria and Zeus are both just there, and this shit's not too bad. It's fine. Fortunately, this part is kind of rough. Viper, I think he thought that he was just on the edge, did have his flash available. If he flashes the shockwave, probably lives, but not actually able to walk out of it. Does end up going down, and yeah, it's a bit
dire for Life Esports. I think that they'll be happy that it's not Infernal Soul this time, but
yeah,
it might not matter because the lead is much wider this game as well, and it does feel a bit more suffocating. Your Corki seemingly even more far behind.
Started so early as well, right? With Zeus just going in 1v2.
So they're gonna try to do the dragon.
Peanut, you are
this
not
is a single ocean dragon.
Hey, maybe this is the Hail Mary.
Yeah, I mean they have the package.
Look at Viper's guns.
They have the package
as well.
Okay. They say, okay, this is where we're gonna try to have to get a fight going. Maybe we can pick someone off. Keria does take some damage. And now, I mean, as T1, you don't have to fight this, but if they do look for an angle, they could go for it. Oner just looking for the combo. There it is. That's the kill. And there's the stasis. And Faker lives, and down goes Peanut. And now Viper's in the front line. He's taking so much damage. And down he will go as well. Zeus super low, but just flashes away. This is a total wipe in favor of T1 as they take down 3 members of Life Esports and the Drake. And this was happening the whole time.
Yeah, I think Baron's gone as well. Somehow, even though the kill scores look better, this game is much more doomed, VODS. Didn't even need Pike Gold in that one. It's just...
There's not too much to say. I mean,
no.
Yeah, we kind of saw the writing on the wall like 10 minutes ago as well. And so now Keria, he's just bullying at this point, trying to get Delight, who was getting into the pit for some reason. Keria is going to just hop
They got
away.
Nash on spawn!
Yeah. Let's take another look at this fight. Break it down for us, Chronicler.
So the idea here, obviously, is we're going to go in hard on Faker because he's a big threat, but they didn't do the arm guard check. So watch this. And then Peanut just dies to Guma immediately. Meanwhile, in the backline, Zeus and Keria are creating a lot of issues, and Zeka doesn't actually get that much value out of his package. We see an attempt from Viper to do something, but he gets caught by the ultimate and just ends up going down. And
Faker is just gigantic right now. And Viper just has to walk away. He does have Ghost, and okay, well, that's interesting for Faker. Trying to put down a control ward in that push, I guess. Not sure. It's been a misclick. Either way, he doesn't even have a control ward.
so
Yeah, Faker just got he got a free lane. And the one time Peanut tried to go there, they actually lost in the trade, and Faker got even farther ahead.
yeah. I think we can let go of any notions of this game somehow turning around, VODS.
Game 1 was so good. It was so close. It was a lot of fun, crazy
Game 1,
Yone moments, and now this game happened.
Game 1, like, I actually think that obviously Delight and Viper were the highlights, but Doran and Peanut still had good games.
Yeah.
But this one is a classic, like, every lane is kind of losing in some sort of way.
Even the jungle.
All right. Hail Mary, Pete. No, okay, we got no one. They are losing the topside turret.
Yeah. I mean,
It's got nothing to say. It's 22 minutes in there.
I think this zoom out is perfect.
It's 11K gold!
I think Jodo Strong was like, you know what? There's nothing I can focus on right now. Nobody's going to make a play. They're going to go in on a Faker. They saw him use his stasis, and they got him. And that's a kill, and now we got the flank coming in from Doran. This is going to be pretty nice. A couple of kills. His Oner just sends it. Might as well, I guess. He's not going to take out Peanut, though, and that's going to be a couple of kills here in the hands of Life Esports.
Down to 9K. That's...
You got to start somewhere.
I think Viper got a shutdown as well.
Yeah, he did. On the Faker.
Playable, VODS. This
just surround the Aphelios.
Yeah, this is very straightforward. Faker just uses Zhonya's, and then Peanuts like you don't.
Yeah, and it was on vision too.
Yeah.
I'm not sure why he's that far up.
And then nice TP from Doran as well to ensure that they actually can take down more targets. Ideally would have liked to get someone else, but Guma was already positioned well. Keria spikes, so it was really slippery, hard to actually take down. Zeus wasn't near the play. Zeus is something we haven't really talked about at all yet this game, outside of the ganks he received, but he is up 50 CS, and he is sitting on like a 300-something gold bounty and is not manageable in side lanes. But one problem at a time, VODS. They killed Faker. They got a big shutdown.
Yeah.
Viper now has 2 items. That's how it starts.
If it was going to become something, it had to start in this manner, essentially. They keep their inhibitor alive. They don't lose their inhibitor turret. They get a shutdown. It's a lot of gold.
Who cares about Ocean Soul?
Who cares about Ocean Soul? You've got 2 items now on Viper. Gotta start some way.
Where did you put Humble Life in your predictions?
4th. Yeah, I had them behind KT, which, again, this is overreaction week 1 predictions that we're talking about.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, I don't know if I feel much better about putting them 3rd.
Yeah. I mean, I think Game 1 showed off that they are a strong team.
We're in week 2, right? We're gonna
It's
overreact.
impossible to know.
We're gonna overreact to anything. This team might look completely different if you give them another month. I'm not gonna draw any grandstanding conclusions, but if it's just another split of T1 Genji for the 4th year in a row, actually 3rd year, I guess.
Probably will be, yeah.
Probably will be. As Keria behind enemy lines.
Yeah, looking for the back line, but there's a TP coming in. Zeka has the package here, so they really have to respect that to T1.
Come on, Hanwha.
In fact, they might just back off of this one. But
Get us to free.
Trying to get in. The hook is on Zeka, but the package is pretty good. Oner isolated, but he's just so tanky. He gets into the front line with the package help. And Keria gets super low, but I don't think they care about that at all, as the damage from Viper is non-existent. He's totally zoned away, and that will be another T1 victory in this team fight. Oh, poor Viper. Yeah, you're dead. Guma gonna take that one. Yeah. And that might just be it. They're just gonna push the bottom lane. 4 people are down here for Hummel AF Esports. Not very long on the death timers, though.
I don't know if you saw, Viper was laughing like very loudly. And like, what do you do after a game like this?
Yeah.
He just got clapped. There's not that much more to say.
The bot lane lost, the jungle lost, the mid lane lost, and the top lane lost.
Unlike last game where there was a very easy person to play, in this one, it's just a team that felt us.
Yeah. It just ends up being that way. Doran is trying to buy some time here. He's doing a good job. I think they will get Doran, but they're not going to get the space. As Peanut's thinking about it, no stasis available, but the heal, nope, not quite enough as Zeus. Now he wants to go 1v5. He's having a bunch of fun. As maybe the damage here from Viper could be enough. Did they go too far? As Peanut's in this back line, not able to lock down Guma. As the damage comes in, and Keria nearly able to double it up, but not quite. As that will be another kill, just fed over to Viper.
Signs of life! Let's go! So they, I don't know why we get a replay of this one. This is rough. So starts off, and this is something that we saw Lucid do as well. The turn possibility for something like Arel is just absolutely devastating. Guma's just free hitting, as is Faker from the other end, and this fight is very over very quickly. But hear me out. That's Ocean Drake now going over to Hanwha. Okay, that's Bounty Gold.
They don't have vision.
Wait, is it Bounty Gold? That's Bounty Gold, fellas.
It is, yeah.
No, Guma, no. No! Come on!
Well, that was pretty elementary from Oner. Just over the wall, just doesn't even cast anything, just smites it. As now, Zeus, okay, that shockwave was massive, and now Zeus finds the angle, picks up 2, and he's looking for a 3rd. Doran will be gifted over to Guma, as now Keria just following Delight around the map.
Look at the base! The minions got mid in him!
Guys, look at these guys.
He's having fun.
Oh, man. Oh, Keria had to do him dirty. I thought he would, take him for a little walk. Delight's got a big smile on his face. This game is over, guys. As they are looking for Peanut. But, yeah, it's just going to be the 2-0 here for T1 tonight in a very extremely dominant game number 2. They just wiped